From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
There's a bill going through Congress that would make changing our clocks a thing of the past. I'll tell you more about that coming up.
I'm Joe St. George on Capitol Hill. Confirmation hearings for Judge Jackson are set to begin this week. What do you need to know ahead of the very public questioning? We go in depth next.
It is 6:31 on this first Monday of spring. Chet Lehman, Matt Elway with you here. I love spring in Montana. Maybe it's one of my favorite seasons because you just really nothing too severe for the most part, and it doesn't last long, even any of the weirdness that we get. But you never know day to day what you're going to have.
We'll get this big spray of moisture that'll drop inches of snow, and a day or two later, it's completely gone. Yeah, right. Yeah. And we're kind of dealing with that yesterday's snow. A lot of that melted throughout the day, certainly on the roadways for the most part. Temperatures are cool enough that we may see a little ice if there are some pools of water out there, but most of those, the areas that are paved are clear, so we're not too worried about it. We do have a little bit of thin cloud cover in place for the morning. The afternoon, the clouds begin to thicken up. You notice those daytime temperatures right back into the 40s, so we're inching our way back up to the average over the next couple of days and beyond. We'll talk more about this big swing in temperatures and what to expect for the weekend. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Matt. 6:32 now. Our top story this half hour. Prescription drugs come with their own issues these days as inflation has hit the healthcare industry. In Billings, a pharmacy owner taking steps to try to save his customers their hard-earned money. TN's Mitch Loggy takes a closer look.
It costs a lot to live in America, and it's only getting more expensive, with people feeling the brunt of inflation at the gas pump and in the grocery store. But it's also impacting an industry that you don't normally think of: healthcare. Kyle Austin owns Farm 406, a locally owned pharmacy in Billings. He says insurance companies are also feeling the brunt of inflation and passing the buck off to the consumer.
A lot of insurance companies are feeling it, and so they are actually undercutting us on reimbursements. And so the insurance companies are tightening their belts. They're not paying for prescriptions like they should be. They're not paying the pharmacy 100% of the cost. So they're actually undercutting us from their end because of the inflation.
According to GoodRx, the price of prescription drugs has increased by an average of 4.6%. It reports that between this year and last, a list of 832 generic and name brand drugs have seen an increase in price.
Healthcare is right in the middle of inflation. Healthcare is right in the middle of the politics. Healthcare is right in the middle of the insurance companies.
And the COVID-19 pandemic might not yet be done, wreaking havoc in healthcare. Much of the prescription drugs in the U.S. are imported from factories in Europe and Asia, and they're still struggling with supply chain problems.
A lot of the generic medications are imported, and so as these countries and those companies shut down, we might see more and more shortages. Healthcare is going to be affected for a while. In the United States, you know, obviously we've came out of it, we're moving forward, but when we're involved in the world economics, where do your supplies come from? When they come from overseas, that economy will affect how we do business here in the United States.
To help save his customers a bit of money and time, Austin is trying something new and will offer to let people buy a year's worth of their prescription drugs at the cost of production. The deal will only be offered in the month of April.
Being a community pharmacy, I can sit back and say, hey, let's do this for 1 month and allow people to take advantage of it. It's kind of like a community service. So we're doing it as a community service. If we were to actually make money at it and offer it year-round, we would do it year-round, but there's no way we could do that.
So hopefully people will stock up before prices jump any higher. In Billings, Mitch Laggy, MTN News.
That's a pretty cool service right there. 6:34 in other news this morning. We keep hearing about an increase in drug-related overdoses in our state. This morning we're breaking down the actual data and giving us an alarming understanding of just how much fentanyl is coming into our state. State Crime Lab has reported an increase of 116% in fentanyl-related deaths in the last year. But the numbers are even more startling than that. Montana's largest city of Billings with 21,000% increase in fentanyl pills seized in just 1 year. Yeah, 21,000%. In 2020, 142 pills seized. Then in 2021, 24,000 pills seized. So why such a sudden increase? And who is at stake?
That's just the amount that we seized as law enforcement. That also means that there's a portion in the community that is also out there that has increased as well.
It's Russian roulette. I mean, these kids, they take it and they I guess they just hope that it's going to be okay.
So join us today, 5:30, for an MTN Original Report, The Facts About Fentanyl. Andrea Lutz explains the reason for the sudden increase of drugs into our state. She has a special plea from a Montana mother who lost her son to this alarming trend. You can also watch her report right now, along with an extended interview on the KBZK streaming app. You can learn more about our app by visiting kbzk.com/streaming. Meanwhile, check this out. Nearly 200-pound bag of marijuana found late Friday night on Interstate 90 near Henderson, Montana. It's about 25 miles east of the Idaho border. Mineral County Sheriff Mike Toth says Good Samaritan called in the tip to authorities who found it lying open near the interstate exit about 11 p.m. No markings on the commercial-sized bag to identify the owner. Transporting marijuana is illegal. Toth says his office will keep the product for about a week to see if anyone claims it. If it's not claimed, it will be destroyed. 6:36 now. Confirmation hearings for Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson begin today in D.C. If confirmed, she will make history as the first black female justice on the High Court. Our Joe St. George shows what is expected to happen this week.
President Biden wants Judge Jackson to be confirmed to the U.S. Supreme Court. But before you can work here, well, let's go on a walk, shall we? You need to get the approval of the men and women who work here, specifically a majority in the U.S. Senate.
After a few weeks of meeting privately with senators, this week is when the public questioning will begin. As a reminder, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson is a former public defender and a current federal appeals court judge in D.C. She's 51, which means she could easily serve for decades. And when she was confirmed to the appellate court in 2013, only 3 Republicans voted for her. So what are the main things to watch? While opening statements start Monday, don't expect the questioning to begin until Tuesday. The hearing should conclude on Thursday. Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois will lead the questioning for Democrats. Republican Chuck Grassley will lead the questioning for Republicans. Look for the toughest questions from these Republicans, though. All sit on the Judiciary Committee, and some are expected to run for president one day.
You may be wondering, what's the point of these public hearings? Well, if Judge Jackson is going to be confirmed as a justice in the U.S. Supreme Court and no Republican votes for her, she'll need every single Democratic senator, including moderates like Senator Joe Manchin, who has yet to pledge his full support.
Some of the most controversial topics will be Judge Jackson's time defending Guantanamo Bay detainees, her past sentences for some sex offenders, which some conservatives say were too lenient. Democrats will be asking about her views on abortion. She hasn't had many rulings, although it's assumed she supports the right to have one. The White House has been prepping Jackson for weeks for this historic moment. The last time a nominee failed to get confirmed following a confirmation hearing was Robert Bork back in 1987. He was an academic, though, with a very public, controversial record. Judge Jackson's past is less polarizing. In Washington, I'm Joe St. George.
6:38 now, enjoying the extra hour of sunshine later in the evening. Always a pleasant sight after the time change we just had a couple weeks ago. MTN's Edgar Cedillo tells us about a bill awaiting the president's signature that could make those spring forward fall backs a thing of the past.
We moved our clocks forward this week. Many of us are still recovering from the time change several days in. Now a bill going through Congress would make that a thing of the past.
It's really jarring to the community to have to switch it up.
The Sunshine Protection Bill would make daylight saving time permanent, meaning that we would stay on the time we just moved forward to all year round. As a teacher, Michaela Krosky is in favor of getting rid of the time changes.
And of whatever is the most natural.
Other people we talked to said they weren't a fan of the time change. So how would this look in Bozeman? Well, in the summer, the sun rises a little after 5:30 in the morning and sets a little after 9:15 at night. Here, you wouldn't notice much of a difference because this is daylight saving time, which we're currently in. Where you would notice a difference is in the winter. The sun rises a little after 8 in the morning and sets around 4:40 p.m. With permanent daylight savings, that would mean that the sunrise and sunset would be an hour later, so that would mean a sunrise just after 9 a.m. and a sunset around 5:40 p.m.
That classic change, right? We did that last weekend, and it makes a difference on a Monday, and it throws kids off, and they've already endured enough change for the past 2 years, I feel like.
Montana is no stranger to this. Just last year, Governor Gianforte signed a bill that would make daylight saving permanent in the state. The Senate passed the bill unanimously. In a statement to MTN News, Senator Daines said, quote, "Will be good to skip the hassle of changing the clocks." And Senator Tester said, "The sun will continue to rise and set each day, and making daylight saving time permanent will give folks more consistency and less hassle." Now that the bill has cleared the Senate, it'll head to the House, where if it passes there, it'll then go to President Biden's desk. If this bill does become law, it'll take effect in 2023. Reporting in Bozeman, Edgar Cedillo, MTN News.
All right, 6:40, we're going to take a break. When we come back.